Hey everybody, this is Eric with Motion Guidance. Thank you for joining me today for this installment of our Healthy at Home series, which utilizes our patient pack models to give you ideas of treating different conditions out of the comfort of your own home. So today I'm back down in my basement and we're going to be discussing posture. Now posture has a lot of branches off of that tree. Posture could include just something that is a typical forward posture. Maybe it's addressing some type of pain. We know in our current literature that pain and posture don't always line up together, so you got to be a little careful in blaming pain on posture. But we do know that the body doesn't like to be sustained in a certain position for a long period of time, and getting out of those particular positions can often be very beneficial. There's also other conditions that might benefit from this type of training with this tutorial, and that could be things like movement disorders, including Parkinsonianisms, where people tend to fixate a posture over time, and this might help them get out of those postures. Okay, so we're going to utilize the head trunk patient pack. For today's video, I have the flag that comes with it up on the wall. It comes with a large strap, a perpendicular mount, and a push button red laser. So I'm going to put the laser on the ball and socket joint on our mount, and I'm going to open this up. And the first thing I'd like to show you today is the application of just how to use the laser for visual feedback on guiding our posture and positioning. Now we're going to use this for the trunk, and then we're going to do a separate exercise for the head a little bit later. But you can put this on any body part to give you some feedback on how maintaining a particular position. So we're going to take that trunk strap and we're going to put it with the blue field toward the front of the body, and we're going to take the teeth on the back of the mount and just slide that into the blue field like so. Pretty easy. So then you can turn and face the target. So the same as with all of our videos, I'm not going to be directly in front of the camera for these. I'll be out to the side. These particular ones today, you can do these in standing or in sitting. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do them in standing today. But you can get the idea of how you can adapt these to your own requirements at home. So I'm just going to get my normal typical posture here. So if we are working with someone who's working at a computer station or just in stance, they tend to be forward. And you want to correct them or change them into an upright posture. Maybe they have that Parkinsonianism and they're constantly forward. That's a very common position to be in. You just turn on the red laser wherever your posture is, and we're going to go ahead and center that up. And that gives us a baseline as long as the person isn't moving around a whole lot. From here, I can just tell them to raise the laser up to the 3 or higher. Okay, onto the target, and then I can readjust that. So if I calibrate that back down to the center target, that tells me any deviation outside of this is going to be changing my posture. So if a person starts to come back down forward, they can see that laser start to move. Okay, so let's just work on maintaining this posture. One simple exercise could just be maintaining this for time. So whether you're working on a computer station and maintaining that for time with the laser maybe projected around the computer station somewhere, or a person who might be in a walker or they're at home watching TV, having a conversation, whatever the scenario may be, we just want to keep them in that position for a certain amount of time. That could be up to you. You could start with just 30 seconds to a minute or ramp up to just give you a cue of indefinite time of how you're starting to hold your posture during that particular activity. Okay, so that could be our first one that we're working on. Another thing that you could work on here while you've calibrated that to be in a little bit more of that upright posture is then start to do activities. So I could reach and touch for the different targets on this flag. Okay, I could go to the different circles. I could go to different parts of the butterfly pattern or different areas on the clock in the middle of the flag. Okay, all the while watching if I'm starting to change my posture while I'm moving my upper extremities. So that can be a nice second exercise within this same setup that we're utilizing. Okay, so the next exercise I'd like to take you through would be moving this trunk belt onto the head and then applying the laser onto the head. And we're going to be addressing an exercise called cervical retraction. Now, another common position is for people, especially with sustained postures, is to start getting their head forward. Okay, whether you're staring at a computer screen, maybe at your phone, and that becomes a habitual pattern, and maybe that's resulting in some sort of symptom. And remember, those don't always have to be correlated, but let's say for your particular needs it is, or you just want to work on that. We're going to floss the belt through the buckle and fixate that to the very end of the Velcro adherence down here by the leather end. I'm going to put the mount into that blue field again, and then I'm just going to put this on my head. For this particular exercise, it actually doesn't matter where the laser is set up, because we're going to do the exact same thing that we were doing with the standing setup just a moment ago. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the top center target for this particular exercise. Once I feel like I am looking at that particular target, I'm going to calibrate this by putting the laser onto the middle of that target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my head backwards, flattening out my neck and tucking my chin slightly while maintaining the laser on that target. And then I can go back the other way, pushing myself forward while maintaining that laser straight ahead. So I'm trying to keep the laser level as I'm moving my head back and forth. Common applications for this would be a 2-second hold at the end ranges, forward and backward, and then performing repetitions in maybe 10. Let me give you a look at that from the side. So this might be your standard posture, okay? And I'm going to project that laser out onto the flag, and I'm going to push my head forward without moving the laser off the target, and then bring my head back. Now, common substitution patterns, if you don't have the visual feedback with the laser, might look like this. And you wouldn't know this unless you had the laser on. But as I push forward, I extend my head, okay? Or I might even deviate to a side if I have a certain mechanical dysfunction at the neck. Or if I'm pulling back into retraction, I just tuck my head down. Okay? So we're looking to keep that laser straight on the target, forward and straight on the target, coming back as far as I can without producing significant symptoms. Now, for further advancement of that particular exercise, you can look into our chin tuck tutorial, and we'll put that link down here at the bottom. Okay, so finally today, working on posture. There is no perfect posture, but there are improved postures over time that might make you more efficient. But we oftentimes want to combine those with different types of exercises and movements. So you've already watched a video where we've had the laser across the torso as well as the laser on the head and giving us different cues for different postures. But we would also encourage you to move within those postures and do different things. One, if you put that on the trunk, like we had before, so let me just take this off and put this on my trunk. We can take that posture cue and start performing different balance activities. And of course, you can advance this as much as you want at home, as long as you're safe and not with a fall risk. But if I get this set up on my torso again, project this out after I have a posture that I want to acquire, I can work on things like narrowed base of support stance, a semi-tandem, or a full tandem stance, maybe even a single leg balance, with the encouragement of trying to maintain my positioning with this laser on a certain part of the target, okay? Or trying to not move out of certain areas. So I could even try to dial this into the very center of this particular target, or if I'm struggling with that, I just want to keep it inside of this black center target. Might be a way that I can judge progress over time. And of course, we could do that with the head cradle as well. All right. So I hope you find these very beneficial and useful for home, and I look forward to seeing you next time.